Uh, I have a couple of questions. Maybe
Okay.
just if you could look at, I'm still waiting for the crypto to, so I can start building this house and all that. And
I
then
missed my, I didn't even take my own advice.
no,
I missed
and
my own chance.
yeah, but it will come, I think. And I remember you said in April, you was that it wouldn't be perfect. So, and it wasn't. I mean,
It was. It
a
wasn't
little bit.
perfect, but it was okay.
Now there was a little bit of a jump, but then it
Yeah.
lost everything. And what I've heard from several sources is the first 2 weeks in May should be good. There should be a bull run there. I don't know if it's the real big one or I don't know, but
Okay. I can just tune in to that. I'm kind of seeing two little spurts.
Mhm.
Like at the beginning of the month goes up a good amount, not a lot, maybe a little more than last month or this month,
Okay.
but kind of about the same. And
Okay.
then it kind of going down and everybody being disappointed.
Yeah.
Then it going back up a little bit, but not quite as high. And then kind of coming back down again.
Yeah.
But then I see towards the end of the month, it could kind of come back up to that line again. And it looks like it could build momentum from that
So something
into
happening
the
in June.
next month potentially.
Yeah.
But it gets a little
Daisy.
blurry and I mean,
Yeah.
it seems like there could be some serious volatility after
Yeah.
that, but I do see it going potentially higher than it has been in like
Yeah.
6 months or whatever it's
Yeah.
been.
I'll send you some charts from some of the remote viewers on Shiba and on Ethereum, and then they say exactly what you just said.
Oh, really?
There's a spike, yeah, especially in Ethereum, and then a big drop across the line. And whether it happens late June or early July, or somewhere around there. So one has to be careful there. But
So
interesting.
they
Okay.
said it goes up and then it spikes down again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another
I don't
thing.
see it go
Yeah.
down and stay down.
No, it comes up again, but
Yeah.
it gives, there's a big drop.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
Can't guarantee anything.
Nothing. Okay. The first thing is, let's look at the progression of the situation in Ukraine. Is it
Okay.
Is over the next month? Is it quieting down and then peaking up again later, or?
Okay. Getting the sense that from where we are right now, there's a bit of, not that it's quiet, but it's quieting down. And then I'm seeing kind of like this bump, like like 2/3 of the 3/4 of the way through next month.
Okay.
There being some sort of bump there with some sort of action that could be taken from Russia, seems like.
Okay.
But it seems to be cooling down after that. But I mean, the media will like portray it for like ever as like escalating, but I get the sense that like more realistically it will be like a big bump that happens and then it kind of cools off again.
Okay.
for
It-
for a for a good long while. It seems like that's like kind of the last bump. I'm seeing an airplane. Could be something about airplanes, possibly. Something about like tall buildings and airplanes possibly getting bombed.
mm,
Almost reminds me of 9/11, like an airplane running into a building or something like that. But
Okay,
I think that's just my mind connecting dots. That I
okay,
would.
okay.
Um, but yeah, it looks like it's a very slow, drawn out
Yeah,
situation. But it looks like the major cataclysm has mostly already passed.
Yeah.
But there's just like this residual
yeah, grinding
battling.
down. Yeah.
Um,
You see something when you come into September, August or September. Do you see things escalating in some way there?
yeah, I'm trying to make sure that this isn't just the suggestion
Yeah,
of that, but I am seeing something like that.
some sort of
You said
escalate.
what months did you say again?
Well, either August or September.
August
Pretty
or
early.
September.
Yeah,
I'm seeing September being. I'm seeing October actually.
okay. Something happening.
I'm seeing 2 months in a row, and like one seems to be kind of like something happening, and then the next month it's like even more.
Escalation.
But I got the sense of October,
Okay.
so I think
They could turn off the gas, the Russians, in October.
what's that?
They could turn off the gas to Europe
They
in
could.
October. They could. It's just
Oh
before.
yeah.
I don't know if
let me see that. Maybe I'll read a picture about like what this is, which is gonna probably be symbolic, but still it might give a clue.
mm,
So I'm just seeing Putin flying a kite.
okay.
What does this mean? So the kite has those symbols all around it, like the military would have. So this has to do with the military. He looks pretty happy about what's going on here. It's up in the air.
Okay.
Again, maybe an airplane.
Something with an airplane.
Seems like airplanes being involved in the future, being a big factor. Let me see. I'm getting like other countries to the north of Ukraine,
Mm-hmm.
to the northwest of Ukraine.
Finland.
Not quite
Lithuania,
there. Not quite there on the other side of the. What is that?
Sweden, Denmark.
Baltic Sea.
Yeah, the Baltic Sea.
Yeah, on the other side of on the south of the Baltic Sea.
Yeah, Sweden.
But no,
Norway.
South of that.
Poland.
Poland. Okay. Yeah, like around there, I'm seeing that that area, roughly Poland, maybe not specifically, but just something about that area. Putin being more focused on that area.
Poles have been very aggressive lately.
Yeah, I have been hearing that. Let me see what is going on here. It seems like there's just this residual battling going on. I am seeing pipes, so this could be related to gas and oil. But I see Putin being pretty happy about this.
Yeah.
Um, and it seems like good infrastructure in Russia
Yeah.
and things actually kind of working out for Russia.
But not so much for Europe.
Well, Ukraine looks completely destroyed. I mean, just hopeless.
That, and I didn't think that was his intention. I think he tiptoed in, trying not to destroy it. I know they
Yeah,
say everything in the news, but it's not true.
I don't get that. I don't get that he wanted to conquer all of Ukraine. I got that he had something more specific that he was trying to do.
Yeah, Donbass and kill off
Yeah,
the Nazis. Yeah, which he did.
yeah.
Mariupol. Yeah,
I feel like there's something more going on. I don't know what. I
there's
have
something in.
suspicions, but I don't want to draw conclusions.
Yeah,
But I feel like there's
something is
something
going.
like behind the curtain that's going on there.
Yeah, I had the same feeling. And what is in those bunkers and underground things under the steel factory? Why did they send in 8 helicopters to save pull out whatever it is? There's something hiding on something bad or something that's just very important to France at least, because Macron has been calling Putin almost daily to get a free passage for those people. So
Who flew helicopters in?
Ukraine flew 8 helicopters into that steel factory in Mariupol, where the city that is completely
Okay.
destroyed, actually. And 8 helicopters almost every evening were sent in. That's because they wanted something out.
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
don't, yeah. And
That's what I'm saying. Them retrieving something.
yeah.
This seems like scientific to me. I did a reading before where there was like these scientists, and people have said, "Oh, it's the bio. Oh, clearly you're just a biolab conspiracy theorist." I'm like, I did not say biolabs. I just saw what I saw, and I said what I saw.
Yeah.
So I don't know what this is,
something,
but it's
something
science
bad.
experiments. I'm saying again, this is symbolic, but what I'm saying symbolically is like a cage with a guinea pig in it.
Okay. So
And
that's
they're
going
taking the cage and the guinea pig. But I don't think this is literally necessarily the case, but something like that. So let me see more about this. What is this? So this is like research that's been done.
Okay.
And they want it. It's almost like the research kind of took on its own life, and like, like the scientists kind of progressed and did kind of what they wanted. That wasn't necessarily what
ethical.
Ukrainian, what?
Not ethical, or just they got free hands. You can do whatever you like or something.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it was unethical. I'm not saying that particularly, but I'm just seeing that it was kind of like freelance, if not freelance, but they're just doing whatever they kind of want. And so like Ukraine it wasn't even really necessarily in control of this or even understanding what was going on. And so it just looks like they are they don't even understand it, is what I'm getting here.
Okay.
And so they're taking it and they're trying to study it and figure out what it all means. Getting that these scientists weren't necessarily Ukrainian, or maybe they were, but they didn't have Ukrainian interests or weren't guided by the Ukrainian agenda. They kind of had their own kind of agenda going on. I'm not saying that it was bad or good. I'm just that's what I'm getting. Trying to see more about this. Yeah, I don't get that they were necessarily connected to any particular country. It was,
Uh, the French were uh, was very interested. Uh, and,
it seems like there's it's almost like beyond countries, like almost like an underground community
uh,
of scientists and people that are interested in this. Kind of like the scientific community, but like a underground scientific
yeah,
community.
Black Ops.
Yeah, it is kind of like it's almost bigger than countries, is what
Mm,
I'm getting.
mm, mm.
You could say it's like oligarchs and
Ah,
people with tons of money that are influential over society that are kind of like, you could almost say, manipulating the governments on some level.
okay.
Maybe not entirely, but they have some sway over the public
Yeah.
opinion. That's what I'm getting. So let me see if there's anything more about this. Yeah, they just want it because they don't want Ukraine to have. I mean, sorry, they don't want Ukraine doesn't want
Russia to
Russia
have
to
it, yeah.
have.
Do you see a resolution to it? Do you think Putin knows what's down there?
Let me see. I get that Putin wants it.
Yeah.
Um,
That's why he's not bombing
I
them.
think there might have been something like that in Kyiv. Am I saying that properly?
Kiev or
Kiev,
Kiev.
sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
I
It's
think there
okay.
might have been something like that in Kiev as well.
Okay.
That he has more control of.
Putin.
Yeah. Um, seems like this isn't something that's just located in one area necessarily. Like it's just kind of part, it's like a piece of the puzzle. But it looks like it's a pretty good chunk that Putin would like to have.
Have. So he knows what's down there probably. That's why he's not bombing them. He could bomb them with those big bombs, but he's not doing that. He's just waiting. At
Yeah.
some point, they won't have food and they have to come out. But would they destroy the thing that is down there before they come out? That's
Putin?
the question. No, the scientists
Oh, the scientists. Let me see.
and the soldiers that are down there.
I'm seeing the soldiers might.
Yeah.
The scientists, kind of hard to tell here.
Yeah.
I'm seeing them not really knowing what to do. Like the
Okay.
thought kind of crosses their mind, but they're not really.
Yeah.
It's like a really last resort for them. Like they really don't want to. I don't think
No.
they necessarily would. I see them wanting Ukraine to have it.
Okay. Okay.
So I see them siding with Ukraine
Okay.
in this.
Yeah, sure.
But it's kind of like their baby, and they don't want they want their
Yeah.
baby to be taken care of. And
Okay.
um,
Is it something sinister or is it something that's good for humanity? Do you get any feeling about it?
let me see. I get it that it's like kind of like like it could be weaponized is what I'm getting, but it's not inherently bad. I'm not getting a bad sense.
Okay.
It's kind of like weapon manufacturing. You can, is it good? Is it bad? Are guns good or bad? I mean,
Yeah,
depends
yeah,
who you ask.
yeah, sure.
Some people say yes, some people say no. Let me see what's more like, what's the intent behind this? And I'm just getting like money
Oh,
and like lots of money involved, and money being a big factor.
perhaps in the development of it, it's costly or something.
But that it can also generate money. So it seems
Ah,
like there's
okay.
something about making money as being the intention behind it,
That,
almost like developing new technology.
yeah, that was what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, perhaps energy, creation of new energy fusion, or um, time travel, or opening a portal to something. Well, now I'm guessing, but
Yeah. Trying to see if I can get a sense of something more here. It seems more basic than those sorts of things. It seems like something that's just very kind of like the building blocks to some sort of more advanced technology here.
okay.
Like it's just the building blocks aspect, kind of like you may make a factory to mass produce something that then you would use that piece to build a car with or something else.
Okay, okay, okay. Well, at some point, if you tune into it in the future, maybe you'll get a better.
Yeah. And let me see one more time if there's anything else that comes up before we move on. There seems to be communication between the Ukrainian military and these scientists, so they're definitely on the same page. Let me see, what does Russia want to do with this? I get the sense that Russia wouldn't even really necessarily know what to do with it, but they just, they don't want the Ukrainians to have it.
To have it, okay.
That seems to be the biggest deal here.
Do you feel it would be embarrassing for the West if it was found out?
Kind of getting a mixture of things here. Just give me a second. I'm seeing a little bit of shock, and like it would be kind of like a top secret thing being leaked out. Embarrassing for the West. Let me see. Would it be embarrassing? I kind of do get the sense that it would be, because it would be like, something that they don't want the public to know about.
Okay.
And then the public finds out that they've been hiding this. It's almost like they want to disclose it later on, but not right now. Like later in the future, they don't care, but like right now, they don't want it disclosed.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Wow.
It's part of a plan
to
do something.
Okay.
It seems to involve different countries, but it's also corporations like selling this to different countries, like secret military type of contracts.
Probably is something military because there are soldiers down there and big security. And why didn't they put these factories in the US or somewhere in Europe? It's probably because it's not allowed to mess around with those things. And Ukraine was just, lawless. You could do whatever you wanted because
yeah, that makes a lot of sense to what I'm getting. Yeah. Seeing a lot of airplanes for some reason. Looks like it's being flown to the US, or
Mm.
something about it, or some aspect of it is being flown to the US for, or maybe just the information behind it. Yeah, there is a connection with the US here, though.
Yeah, I
It's
have
not like one country is in charge of it, though. It's like its own project,
okay.
but I'm seeing it being connected with
Spectra.
that, like the
Like,
US and Europe.
yeah. Yeah, it's probably something because France was interested, so they probably know what it is. Macron called Putin daily. And I think whatever happens in Ukraine, US is involved because I think they are behind everything. So
I kind of get that there's something like kind of alien about this, and I don't know if that's literal or symbolic in the sense of alien, but something like alien about it and like the technology, but like on like like kind of almost beyond physical, or like kind of like small particles, or like
black
not
matter.
like a object that you would hold.
Okay, something energy like black matter or experiment. Yeah.
Yeah, just like technology that isn't normally used. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm getting. I don't want to draw any conclusions here.
No, no. Yeah, whether it's alien or not, we don't know that, but it's probably on the edge of what is possible.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And it has to be something dangerous about it since they're putting it in Ukraine.
It can be
And
used. I'm kind of getting, when you say that, I kind of got to like nuclear. Not that it is nuclear, but it's similar to a nuclear, like like how a nuke is, the technology of making a nuke is important and top secret. It's like that.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
But like new technology, we don't even know about.
Yeah. Powerful.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
It was a good one. Interesting.
Yeah. No, that was definitely interesting.
Do you see any earth change? I had for the first time in my life, a week ago, I felt an earthquake here in the house in the evening. Do you see more of those coming, bigger ones here where I am?
Let me see. Maybe towards the end of next month.
Okay.
Towards the end of May, and then June. I'm seeing that June in particular, there could be a lot of activity.
Okay.
And then the beginning of July. And then I see it kind of going away again.
Okay.
I see, why is this happening? And I just get that like it's just tectonic plates moving.
Okay.
So it doesn't seem like, much more than just that. But let me see what's behind that.
Something about the position of the planets in April, June, or July. I don't know. They should all align, and that should change the magnetic field and do something.
Interesting. I'm getting that there is some sort of, it is related to some shift that's happening on the Earth, and I know a lot of people like to say that it's either conspiracy oriented with HARP, or it's global warming, climate change, etc. But I'm kind of getting that it's not either any of those. It's like it's just like a natural thing that's happening with the Earth is what I'm getting. And I think that would have to do with what you're talking about, being affected by other planets.
Would that also change our our minds, our how shall I say, our our feel,
Consciousness.
yeah, consciousness, yeah.
Um,
Some expansion of consciousness.
yeah, I'm definitely seeing like the old ways disappearing. This seems to be more, yeah, switching things up.
Mm,
I'm trying to see more specifically
mm,
because I would assume that it has to do with just everything that's been going on for the past while
yeah,
now.
yeah,
But I want to see specifically if there's anything more here. I'm seeing the crown chakra on the top of the head
yeah,
really lit up for people in association with these like earthquakes or just the tectonic plates shifting.
yeah,
Um, yeah, it's really about kind of burying the past in a way where it's like cleansing.
yeah,
Um, looks like there's a lot of change coming up here
yeah,
energetically and culturally
yeah, yeah,
within that time period specifically.
yeah,
Um, like kind of I'm seeing upheaval, like cultural,
yeah,
social upheaval in the
yeah,
media, and people kind of there's a little bit of people attacking each other.
okay,
Um, it's a little bit of condemnation, but it's more in the spirit of connectedness than it is of hate. And it's
okay,
kind of like it's like people are concerned,
yeah,
but it seems to be an overreaction as well.
okay,
Seems like it's coming from it's like a good change that's happening, but then there's people who are overreacting to it. And so
okay,
it's like kind of like a pendulum goes back and forth. It's
yeah,
like it's not going to
yeah,
settle until it's gone one direction and then the other direction and back and forth, and eventually it
okay,
kind of settles and then it finally finds the
okay,
point that like
yeah,
the whole point of it. It
yeah,
looks like there's like this
yeah,
battle of that. And
yeah,
this has to do with like the media, social
yeah,
media kind of stuff we've already been seeing lately.
yeah, yeah.
But another wave of that.
Is it
Um,
driven by the governments, this change, or is it happening by itself, or just a natural progression of?
well, that's definitely happening by itself, but I can look at the government involvement here.
Mm, I mean,
Yeah, it looks like the government is trying to kind of keep the pendulum going from one extreme to the other
yeah,
and not like
yeah,
settle, you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
And so it
So
looks like they're kind of using that politically,
yeah,
like politicians will use any talking point they
exactly.
can
Don't
get.
let a good crisis go to waste.
Yeah. So it looks like they're, using the battle, the cultural battle as political talking points.
Uh,
Um,
and to further their agenda, the Great Reset agenda, or whatever they
yeah.
have in their mind.
Yeah. It's interesting because when you say that, I get the sense that Joe Biden isn't like entirely in alignment with the Great Reset, but he is, but isn't
Okay.
kind of what I'm getting. Like he
Sure.
is, but it's like he's kind of like an instrument in
Yeah. Yeah.
in the process, but
Yeah.
isn't he
He's not the driver.
individually.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not the driver. He's not,
No.
he doesn't even really
Uh,
realize that he's kind of like a piece of it, but it's not a perfect piece. Like there's something about him that's a little bit misfit, and it's not like perfect the way that
They
this
would like
agenda
it
would.
to be.
Yeah,
Uh,
there's
okay.
something a little off about Biden within
Okay.
this.
Okay.
It seems like the best option they could get.
Yeah. They
So
can control him pretty much. Yeah. And Kamala
yeah,
Harris is coming afterwards. Yeah, I wonder how she will. Yeah, yeah, I don't know.
yeah.
Let's not look
She
too far
seems
ahead.
more aligned with that interest.
Yeah, I could
So
imagine.
she seems like she's like
All on board.
full
Yeah,
force, all for it. Where Joe Biden seems to be kind of more,
yeah.
because he has
He's
his
an older
own
dude.
agenda.
Yeah, money agenda.
Yeah, and his own ideas is what I'm
Okay,
getting.
okay.
But yeah, kind of both.
Yeah, who knows who's running the country?
Yeah,
Thanks, Ty. Let's
yeah,
just stop it here. It was a great session. Great session. I hope you liked it too. Some of the
yeah.
questions. Yeah.
Oh, that was good.
I always feel is that we have some interesting talks. I don't know how you feel. I mean,
Yeah, I
we
was.
always find something,
I
crazy.
mean, I kind of, I don't feel like I'm doing a reading for. I mean, I feel like I'm doing a reading for a friend or something, because like,
Yeah, I feel the same way.
it's not.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
just great.
So
I love it.
yeah,
So let's do it again in a month or
yeah,
two. Yeah.
awesome. Yeah. I guess I'll stop recording this now.
Yeah, let's do it. I'll send you some